and welcome to Sports by Compian. My name, of course, is Stephen Compian, and I am joined by my powerful yet ever-present co-host, Mr. Daniel Gill. How are you, sir?
I'm amazing. I'm ready to do this.
Wow. And you know what? You look amazing. So nobody here is surprised or in doubt that you are ready, in fact, to do this. And as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, we already have one of our results pulled up here. The USFL has come to an end. Football is officially over, Daniel. But let's not mourn the loss of it. Let's instead just be happy it happened and talk about this game. So, Pittsburgh Maulers and Birmingham Stallions. Now, when I first saw this score, I'm like, oh, well, typical blowout. Not too unexpected. It doesn't quite tell the story of the game. The Maulers did typical Mauler stuff, where they didn't score touchdowns, they didn't kick field goals. Of course, it caught up to them. But there's one play that me and Daniel talked about off camera. That big fumble by the Maulers at some point. I think it was like 12-18 or something at that point, maybe, or 12 to...
Yeah, it was 12-21.
Okay.
Stallions fumble the ball, and the Maulers pick it up and go running. And at first glance, they thought they got a touchdown. I was pretty sure it was a forward pass, but Big Boy was running down the field and tried to hand it off to his DB. But his DB passed him, so it was an illegal forward pass. That was late in the game, and if that comes to be a 21-18 or 19 with an extra point, we got a different story here.
Absolutely.
It was because secondly, they didn't get anything out of that drive either. They walked away with no points. So,
yeah, big miss for Chris, who doesn't normally miss that much, but ultimately wouldn't have mattered even a field goal there, but still getting no points there was huge.
It's just a momentum killer.
Oh, man. And, if only those guys had watched some rugby first, they might have been able to actually make that play happen.
Yeah.
But, we did talk about this. Not a bad thing overall that the Stallions have once again won this. I think there's something ridiculous. What did we say? They've only lost 3 games overall.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a bit dominating, but at the same time they're really establishing themselves and hopefully getting a little bit of the Birmingham crowd behind them.
Yeah, no, I mean it looked to be a good crowd that night, even though they were up in Ohio. But there was a good turnout there. And, I mean, honestly, this game was a lot closer than I think either one of us expected it to be. Sure, I had pointed out earlier in the year when they played each other, Birmingham won 24-20, but just the way Birmingham came out of that Southern Final matchup against New Orleans, winning by 25, I just thought they were going to lay it on them. And, to Pittsburgh's credit, their defense hung in there. And honestly, I mean, 20-12 is not a bad score. And they gave their offense more than enough chances to potentially win this game.
Yeah, and that's all you can do. They really did try to hang in there. They tried to give them all the chances they could. Alex played a solid game as normal. He has a lot of good receivers there as well. There's not one guy you can really lock in on, and even that tight end, Steinberger, I reckon he's probably going to get a shot somewhere too, as will probably Alex. After 2 solid years in a row with the Birmingham Stallions, you would hope that he's going to get a shot.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just the way he's been playing, it's unstoppable. And I'm sure someone could utilize him. I don't know if you utilize him in a Taysom Hill role or something like that, or just flat out competing for a starting job. I don't know, but he's got value in him for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
I think. Go
ahead.
No, I was saying. I mean, I think something of note. I'm sure you're gonna get into the breakdown of it. It was a very clean game in terms of turnovers. Really, one aside. So there were some costly penalties here and there, but all in all, I felt like it was a relatively clean game. It was just, like you mentioned, there's a couple missed extra points, and or missed field goals, and it was just them kicking themselves in the foot and not being able to get it over the line.
Well, you got to convert on third down. This team is struggle to convert all year on third down, and against a great team like the Stallions, it's not good enough to just kick field goals. So yeah,
Yeah,
that
no.
is. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, no, like Birmingham is like the last team you want to try to beat with field goals.
It was the chemistry we had, says Alex. Damn right, Alex. They had a lot of chemistry, and yeah, that does officially wrap up football for the 20. I don't know, for the time being
The spring 23 season.
until the real stuff comes back. Which I think college football will be here a day or so before football. Or a week. Is it a week before?
Yeah, it's like a week or two. Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. There's gonna be some football, guys. It's coming. It's away for now, but don't you worry, fans, because guess what's still gonna be here and just around all the time. Rugby, Daniel. Yeah, well, us too. Yes, us too. But also rugby. And shout out to Lock Harbor rugby, Scottish team out there. Some good lads. They play some excellent rugby out there, and I bet they're out there putting up a good schedule. Record right now, if I had to guess. But yeah, I got this jersey from one of the lads. Good team out there. Anyway, let's hop into a little bit of MLR action. What were you saying, Daniel?
No, so did you see that Murray was leaving rugby balls in parks for people to play with?
That's cool. Hopefully they don't just jack them and take them home and they actually play with them and leave them. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Although the culture there isn't as crazy like that, so they probably would. They probably do. So this game, kind of a bummer to watch, but you can just see the superior skill of these Legion teams. Watch this cutting, bam. What can men do against that truckload takedown? Let's run it back. So out here in space, beautiful cut inside. Chin creates the space. Finds him. He knows to cut in, and then just did a perfect switch with the wing. San Diego had control of this game, from pretty much from the get-go. What we saw was a brief opportunity for Seattle to get into it, and they just couldn't quite make it happen.
Yeah, and I think something of note though is it was 13-3 at halftime, so it's still a very manageable game. It was really those last 20 minutes where you saw Seattle fall apart, and it ended up being the 32-10. And San Diego at one point got a try with a man down. So,
yeah,
that just shows how.
Dude just snatched it right out of the air on a kickoff. It was pretty beautiful.
Yeah, it just shows how much they were firing on all cylinders, regardless of being down a person.
There was even one where the 15 just nailed it down the field, or somebody, and then the wing just flat out beat their fullback to the back of the try zone and got the try. They just looked better. Like you said, it was 20. I think it was 0-0 with 20 minutes into the game. So Seattle did show up on defense and they did try, but just probably outmanned and outgunned, huh?
Yeah, they just didn't have their legs under them for that last 20 minutes of the match, and that's where San Diego pulled away.
Well, another game that happened this past weekend was the Free Jackets and our boys, the Old Glory. Unfortunately for the Old Glory, they had to face a team like this. Look at this madness. What's going on here? Stop it. It's rude. It's just disrespectful. It's harsh. Trying to be a comeback team.
Yeah, we knew that it was going to be a tall order for DC in this. But New England just came out hot and fast, and they were just keeping the pressure on DC. Went up 18-0 at halftime, and DC just never recovered from it. Really got it. They went 7-7 splits in the second half, but it was too little, too late for them. Their second matchup against New England a couple weeks ago, we saw New England beat them 42-24. So they knew what kind of pressure they're going to be putting into, but like we've said before, Old Glory's had their best season in their history. So applaud to that. Nice to see where they're headed, but we're having the matchup in the finals that we were thinking between San Diego and Free Jackets. So
Well, before
Let's
we get
go.
into
Let's go.
that, yeah, I would agree. This is Old Glory's best season by far, so they should keep their heads up for that. You did see some fight out of the boys throughout this game. You mentioned that they really held out in the second half, and didn't get like if you're already down 18-0 at halftime, only giving up one try in the second half, even putting one try of their own. Like as the commentator described it when they got that try, I think it was like 75 or something like that, or maybe the minute 70. He's like, yeah. I mean, at this point, just throw the kitchen sink at them because like the fly half just beautifully kicked it out there to the wing, and Big 21 just went up and got it, and it was a beautiful little try for Old Glory to at least not get completely shut out in this game. It was good to see, but overall, just played against a way more talented team, and I'm really excited to see this is what we wanted, Dan. This is the two best teams coming clashing together in Chicago, and your boy will be there to watch it in person with the senior Compian available. Mr. Dad Compian himself is coming to the game, if you can even believe it, sports fans. What a day.
It's going to be a great time.
The Dog Pound has some cool stuff lined up. They got a block party from like 9 to 12. Then the stadium opens. There's going to be some DJ to warm up with. There's going to be people doing backflips. And then Diesel hits the stage before kickoff. Oh my gosh, Dan. Mr. Shaq himself in the house. Huh?
And the Dropkick Murphys.
The Dropkick Murphys, they play after the game, though, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not sticking around for that, Dan. No offense.
No, I thought it was, what time's the kickoff?
I don't know. I looked at something on Facebook that showed that it was going to be after, I thought. Because it was like at 3 or 4.
And yeah, I think it's at like 4:30.
But kickoff at 2.
Okay, off at 2.
Yeah, it makes me think it's afterwards, which is kind of weird. They're making people trying to stick around. It seems strange. But anyway, so yeah, there will be some phenomenal rugby being played at SeaWolves Stadium. If you are in the Illinois area, if you're in the Wisconsin, Northwest Indiana area, come drive over, make a road trip out of it. It's going to be a heck of a day. There's going to be some quality rugby being played. You may even catch a glimpse of the glorious Sports by Compian host, Stephen Compian himself, will be out there. Wild. Crazy. Could be a part of it. Anyway, getting into the actual game itself, Dan. I'm excited to see what these two backlines are going to be doing against each other because we've seen some of the fanciest stuff we've seen all season in the MLR out of these two backlines. We've seen that 14 Satala, is that his name? No, I'm thinking of the scrum half from Glory. Either way, one of those Samoan gentlemen, and he's fucking good. But the Free Jackets are fast, and they move that ball quickly. This is going to be a heck of a game. Will it come down to the forward packs making an impact here? What do you think, Dan?
Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, I think both sides are very fast, so it's who can slow who down first, and that's where it could lie in. Both teams are very good at capitalizing on mistakes, so I would imagine that they're at a minimum in this matchup. So that could be where the biggest one lies. Who keeps the calmer head? Who makes the less mental mistakes, even physical mistakes? And we know that New England likes to get off to a fast start. San Diego can kind of ease into it and then just start to run away later in the match. It's going to kind of be a balance of who can weather that initial storm first, because if one side just starts breaking open early, I don't know if the other side can catch back up.
Plus, it's going to be a hot day. I guarantee you it's going to be a hot one. So, which team will be a little bit better prepared for that? These two teams met in the regular season, right? With San Diego winning.
Yeah, San Diego won 29-14, so it's still a relatively good match there. I would like to say the same could happen, but just the way New England's been playing down the stretch, I kind of have to pick New England.
I will. I want New England to win this, although I do think San Diego is going to win. Just as a somewhat close to the East Coast guy, we're all just on the East Coast. I'm definitely going for the Free Jackets on this. I think it'd be cool to see them upset Legion. Once again, a West Coast team coming in. But I am really excited to see this level of rugby because I think it's going to be a really, really good game.
Yeah, no, it's nice that we're going to get a first-time champion out of this.
Yeah.
I believe if I remember correctly. So
Absolutely.
I
No,
think it's a highly
neither of these
contested
teams. I
match.
don't even know if either of these teams have been to the final. At least since I've been paying attention, which is a very long time, Dan. At least 3 years. Piles of time.
Yeah.
But anyway,
So
before we send you off, guys, with our last game, which will be this one, we wanted to let you know that there's something very important happening come September in the rugby world. What do they call that stuff, Dan? I know we've talked about it on the show before, but I keep on forgetting what they call it.
doesn't that have to do something with the world?
The whole world, right? Yeah, something to do with the whole
Oh,
world.
the whole world.
Right, yeah. It's called,
Yeah.
the World Cup. That's right, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
That is coming. Get excited. Start watching some Split Rugby. He's breaking down every team right now. He already got Romania, South Africa, and I think he did one more. But either way, he's probably going to break down every single group and give each of these teams a little hope or something to think about as they go through their group phase. But man, some of these groups are crazy. We got South Africa and Ireland in the same group, so there's going to be battles right off the bat. It's going to be a heck of a season to cover. We're very excited about it. In the meantime, we'll probably find some clubs out there playing some high-level rugby. I was just watching a Crusaders and Chiefs game. Let me tell you, high-quality rugby, dude. These guys just play so fast. They turn around, and the ball is just like, the scrum half is like, they're literally like a second. It's pretty beautiful to watch. And so much more.
Yeah, I remember I was looking at the. I think the pool actually that has South Africa and Ireland also has Scotland in it. I'm pretty sure.
Yes, they do. And then poor little Romania, who's actually a pretty good little B nation team. Like they're stuck in there with those three savages. It's so sad.
And I think they're in there with Tonga too. I mean, not the Tonga's like a.
Oh yeah. Tonga's there too. That's right. So is it 5 teams to a pool?
Yeah, it's 5 to a pool. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's the top 2 advance.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I mean, like Pool B is like the most loaded pool out of all of them.
That's that one we talked about, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And the rest of them are kind of so. I mean, Pool D has England, Japan, and Argentina. So the 3 of them, that should be a decent square off there. Because Japan really came out last World Cup and showed that they had some steam behind them. And then Pool C has Wales, Australia, Fiji, Georgia. So,
that's
Georgia's
an interesting pool as far as like, will Georgia make some noise and take out some big team tiers? Some big teams.
I mean, we've been talking about Georgia getting into Six Nations for a while now.
This is a chance. Put it on Wales. Put it on Wales and show them that you belong.
Yeah, if they put it on Wales, who knows?
I mean, make it 7 nations. 6 is a bad number anyway. What else you got there? What about Group D?
Yeah, so let me just run through all of them real fast here. So A.
Yeah.
We'll run it back. So A has New Zealand, France, Italy, Uruguay, and Namibia.
All right, hold on. Let's talk about that group real quick. So arguably 2 of the very best, New Zealand and France. Probably the 2 to advance out of there. Are we taking France to win that game against New Zealand, though? Way too early prediction. I think so. I think right now France is playing on a super high level, and New Zealand seems to be looking for some answers on offense right now.
Yeah, I know. I think those are definitely walking out, but yeah, France looked really good in Six Nations again.
Yep.
I think they might be the one.
If it would have been a freight train called Ireland rolling through of them, they probably would have taken that.
Probably, yeah. And I mean, Ireland was a little beat up towards the end of Six Nations, so who knows who they're going to be fielding come World Cup time? Because I mean, it's hard to say who's going to come out of that Pool B.
And then, do we think Italy will stave off Uruguay / Compian?
Namibia?
I would like to see Italy absolutely crush those 2 and show the world that they're not like a trash team,
It would be bad if they lose to one of
It would
them.
be really bad if they lose to one of those two. So hopefully they're able to crush those two and be competitive with their England. I'm sorry, with their New Zealand and France games. All right, so B we already kind of talked about. That's the South Africa squad. I think I'd definitely take it. You gotta take South Africa and Ireland out of that group right now. You know, we'll see.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to leave Scotland on the outside of that because they've been playing well.
That's the upset I would love to see. I'd love to see Scotland get in there, even over South Africa. You know, that'd be cool. I have a lot of love. Yeah. One of my favorite players are Hamish Watson and Richie, Jamie Ritchie. So you know, I'm definitely all for Scotland having a big game. I know Richie went wild in his last World Cup game I saw against Japan. Dude just was on fire. I don't think I've ever seen a player playing like he was. It was awesome.
Pool C, we got Wales, Australia, Fiji, Georgia, and Portugal.
Kind of up for grabs there a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think Wales is going to take one of those spots.
Yeah.
And this is not loving all on Six Nations at all.
No, but I mean, they're good teams, so it's like, I mean, what do you do?
They're good teams. Yeah, and I think we have a toss-up, but I would like to see Georgia get it.
Oh, you know, Australia, you said Australia is the other one?
Yeah, but I think Australia could be a tough customer to get out of there.
It's going to be the water bees. I bet they're going to be actually the number one team out of that group.
And then we got New Zealand, France. It went back to A. I apologize. We got England, Japan, Argentina, Samoa, and Chile in D.
Who?
Chile.
Oh, Chile. I'm definitely going for England and Argentina in that group. Although I think Japan will put a very strong effort out there against Argentina. We'll see how that turns out.
I'm going to kind of pick an upset one on this. I kind of want to take Argentina and Japan.
Okay. You think England stays out?
They were really struggling in Six Nations this year.
But all right, you might be right. Especially when they fired their coach.
And then they fired their coach. Like I think they're in trouble. I think I'm going to take Argentina and Japan.
And Japan is so frisky, dude. I love watching Japan play. They are such a frisky little team. Like, all their players are just frisky little motherfuckers. It's awesome to watch. That's going to be an interesting group. I mean,
that would be a very interesting group to watch.
I can't wait. That's actually pretty exciting. I'm looking forward to these games.
Yeah. 100%. Just got to, stay up until God knows what time of the night.
Yeah, one of these games will be getting played. It's going to be like, it's France, right?
Yeah,
it's going to be like the crack of dawn.
It's in France.
Crack of dawn and very early in the morning type of things.
Yeah, or really late at night.
Great, terrific.
But no, they kick off on September 8th is the first game with France and New Zealand.
Hey, guess who kicks off on September 9th for their very first game of the year? At home. Your very own Rockford Ravens, motherfucker! Anyway, Sports by Compian, we're out of here.